Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Trail, the Director of Communications for Murfreesboro City Schools, and today I have a guest with me, Candy Powers, who is the Educator Liaison as well as grant writer for our Extended School Program. So welcome.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what goes on before and after the traditional school day today.
Okay.
And you guys are doing a great job. You have over 2,000 students enrolled in the Extended School Program. In the city schools, we have over 8,000. So about 25% of our students are taking advantage of the prior to school beginning or after the school day ends. So what are you doing this year?
Wow, we're very proud of our program. Yes, we do serve over 2,000 students. We want to work towards 3,000. 30% of the population is our goal. So we're always trying to reach for that and offer classes and enrichments that all children can participate in. There's something for everybody. Gosh, our program this year has grown tremendously from last year and in the prior years. We are really pushing STEM into our program through robotics, through Legos, through technology. Coding has become very popular. The children really love that.
And I'm going to stop you just a second so that we keep up with our viewers. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes, ma'am.
And we also refer to things as STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So didn't want to break you, but I want to make sure that our listeners, our viewers, are understanding when we use educational acronyms what they really stand for.
Right. Sorry, yes. And STEM is definitely the science, technology, engineering, math is where we have turned our focus for the past couple of years. We know that it's very important. Technology has become such an important force, even in children's lives, not just for adults. It's here. It's not going anywhere. So we're going to embrace it and try to teach these new skills to children. Coding, for example, is something that anyone can do from kindergarten on up to adults. I've had a little bit of training in it myself, but you put a kindergartner on a coding program, it will blow your mind. It's amazing what they can learn and do. Besides the coding, we plan to bring robotics to our program. That hasn't quite started yet, but we're actually working on that next week. So we will be seeing that in some of our sites before the end of the school year. Math is a big focus this year. But in the Extended School Program, whether it's before school hours or after school hours, whatever we do, we try to bring that wow factor, that fun factor, because we don't want it to feel like that they're still sitting in class after they get out of school at the end of the day. So we seek and search and research new ideas constantly to try to reach all of our kids and make sure that they're having fun and that they're also learning at the same time.
And the children get to choose which enrichments they really want to participate in, right? So you are trying to bring the wow factor, and I love that phrase, the fun, but also the learning, because learning can be fun. And I think what you're teaching them with robotics or some of the other programs, they don't realize they're in a learning environment. They just know they're having fun. Exactly.
A lot of times we'll say we're going to have fun, and we kind of sneak that learning in, and they really don't know, by the end of the lesson, hey, they come to a realization that, wow, I learned something today. Because to them, what's important after school is to have fun. Mm-hmm. For us, we have a few different goals than what our children would like to do after school. But as long as we give them the wow and it's fun, then they're going to participate, they're going to learn. Typically, what happens, and yes, our children do get to choose what they want to participate in with the help of their parents. Mm-hmm. So typically what happens in an afternoon in ESP is that the children dismiss from school and they're picked up by ESP staff. They're brought generally to the cafeteria where we give them a snack. And once snack is over, There's either homework help or tutoring, depending on what the parent has signed their child up for. And that, of course, is dependent upon the needs of each child. Or they may choose other enrichment programs like sports, science, technology, math, art, music. Really, there's not a whole lot that we don't offer in ESP across the board at our 12 sites. Probably if you threw some sort of class out, we've done it, or we're trying to do it.
So that makes it really a good environment to continue the learning from the school day. Also a very safe environment. They're not leaving their school. They're just moving from one classroom to another part of the building. And then a lot of the times you are taking over classrooms throughout the building, as well as the gymnasium and the cafeteria. So, and you also do quite a bit outside, I've seen. So gardens, I was going to throw out a few things maybe you can touch on. The gardening programs that you have going on at some of the schools, the junior chef program. So our ESP students are now in the kitchens. They're just everywhere. As you walk through the schools after that bell, whether it's 2:30 or 3:30, it's just amazing to see all the activities that are going on. So can you kind of touch on gardening and maybe
Sure.
from the garden to the food preparation?
Sure, yeah. Gardening is fairly new for most of our sites. I actually, before I came to central office, was a teacher in one of our schools and had a couple of garden beds built and just kind of started from there. That is kind of how it went at other schools as well. There are probably, our goal would be all schools to have gardens. That's definitely our end goal. But we would like what we're doing now to translate to what they're doing in the kitchens through our junior chef program. Certainly we want the children to be part of planting and growing produce that they can bring into the kitchen and prepare and learn to prepare and serve, and also to help make choices about what's served in the cafeteria. So we actually have a great opportunity coming up this fall break. It's kind of a joint partnership between Coordinated School Health, the Nutrition Department, and ESP. We're going to actually have this great taste testing event at each of the schools where the kids get to test fruits, vegetables, grains, and dairy products at each of the sites for one day. And we will survey the kids and ask them what they would like to see on the lunch menu. And some of the things, the most popular things that they choose, will actually end up on the menu at some point in this school year, which is pretty exciting because the kids get to have a voice in what they're being served. They're going to get to see it grown from seed to table. That's the goal. We want them to see the entire process.
So it's an understanding of carrots are grown underground.
Absolutely.
And other things like squash above ground. So it really is teaching the gardening process so that they can know that as they grow up and as they go grocery shopping or to the farmer's market. So that is really cool. I'm excited about the taste testing. I think that's going to be fabulous.
Yes.
And speaking of fall break, the rest of us get to take a little bit of fall break, but ESP is really turning it up for fall break. So if you are not going to Florida or on any other special trip, your children still have an opportunity to really enjoy their break in a different way. So you want to touch a few things about what's coming up for fall break?
Yeah, absolutely. We are gearing up for fall break right now. All 12 sites are sending in their fall flyers that we're going to send out on Peach Jar electronically to all parents. We'll post some things as well. If they have any questions, they can certainly go to the ESP office. We can expect lots of field trips over fall break. That's always a big draw on any break. We want to make sure that the kids have fun. And yeah, they have to be at school when a lot of kids aren't. So we want to make sure that they're having a great time. Field trips is a big part of that. So a lot of field trips. We're going to have some science camps going on, some art camps. So it really depends on what site you're at. Everybody does something a little bit differently. But everybody has some really great fun things planned. And we're going to have that pushed out in the next couple of days to all parents so they can look at those and decide whether, and we would love for anybody that's not, you don't have to be enrolled in ESP right now in the before and after school program to come over fall break. You can enroll just for fall break. So if you need somewhere for your children to go, ESP would be the place to be.
So fall break, they could come and see what ESP is all about. They could come for one day or half a day or a full week.
Absolutely.
So it is a really good time to check out ESP because you have that extra hours in the day to kind of get to know the staff and to see what all's going on.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. So if you haven't enrolled in ESP, come on, enroll. Let's see what's going on.
Right. And there aren't big crowds over fall break, too. So there are lots of opportunities for your children if they just want some extra social time with other kids, just to come and have to play and talk and chat and play games, go on a field trip. They don't have to come all day. They can come for half a day. We have lots of different options. So if you're interested at all, please see your site director at each school, or you can call central office and ask to speak to ESP.
Very good. Is there anything that you need to touch on that we haven't already touched on? Maybe something I've forgotten? Obviously, ESP is also open during those snow days.
Yes.
Always good to go ahead
Yes.
and get that plan made in advance. I've been told that we're going to have lots of them this year. Not by anyone who knows, just by all the students.
Right. A lot of wishful thinking going on right now. Yes, we are open on snow days. And yes, we have so many programs that it's really hard to pick and choose which ones I want to talk about, but we did start this past summer. One program in particular that we're very proud of is a partnership with Old Fort Golf Course. And that has been great. We brought in new equipment that's modified for children to learn to play golf. So we have taught them how to play golf in the gymnasium, so we can use our indoor facilities for this. And then after they spent about 5 days at their school site, we took them to the new children's golf course, Bloomfield Links. And if you have not been there with your child, you should definitely check it out. It's a 6-hole golf course. And we have been so fortunate to have Jex Wilson and Tracy Wilkins at Old Fort Golf Course to partner with us. And Jex, his expertise in the area, and just we called him the child whisperer because he's so wonderful with kids. It was amazing to see how much they learned from day 1 to day 5. It was incredible. So we've continued. That was a summer program, a summer golf camp program, but we have continued that at 6 of the 12 sites. So next year we hope to expand that to all 12 sites. That's nothing that we've really ever offered before, but we know that a lot of kids are not going to have the opportunity to play golf. It's not, basketball, soccer, those are the more popular sports, but we want to make sure that those that don't participate in those kind of physical activities have other options as well. So not only are we bringing golf into the program, but tennis as well. We were able to get some grant money that bought a lot of tennis equipment. And again, we don't need a tennis court. We just need a gym or even a parking lot or a playground, and the kids can still play tennis. So that's something that we've pushed. So sports definitely is a big draw to ESP. And art as well. We have had some wonderful art teachers, and a lot of the folks that work with us in ESP are our certified teachers, our school day teachers. So we have community folks from MTSU. We have our teachers. We have so many people in our community that work with ESP. It has been just tremendously successful to bring outside people into our program and share their skills with our kids. So golf, tennis, and then the other program that we started that I want to definitely talk about today is Right Brain Books. We invested some time, effort, and money into this program. Right Brain Books is a writing curriculum which will result in a published book by the end of the class. So you can sign your child up for the class, and they will work with a certified teacher on the writing process. They'll work through that process, and they will end up having their very own published book. So by the end of this school year, across the 12 sites, we will have 480 published authors. And that's what we want all kids to know, that everybody's a writer, They are authors. So this is just one way to make it tangible for them. And of course, parents love to see anything that their children do. I do. I'm a mom. So, and my children have had books published in classrooms that they've brought home. And so we've made this available. It is grant funded. So we made it as affordable as we possibly could for any student that wants to participate. And no student would be denied on the basis of any costs. So anybody that wants to participate in Right Brain Books that is a part of ESP, that option is available.
So you're making our students authors?
We are making them authors, golfers, tennis pros. We're
engineers.
Engineers. Oh,
we can do robotics. We can be engineers.
Robotics. Speaking of engineering, we're about to introduce a new program called Design Squad, which is actually a PBS show with middle school children. Only we're taking it down a notch to fit for our elementary kiddos. But they will design, they will build, they will engineer, they will do all these things, and using the PBS curriculum Design Squad. So we are in the process of putting that together right now, and that will be pushed out right after Christmas. So when the kids come back from the winter break and sign up for their next set of enrichments, and that is another thing about ESP. Every quarter, all of our students sign up for new classes, so you're not stuck in anything for the entire year or even half a year. Every 9 weeks, you get to pick new classes. And so you may have, if you were a student in ESP, you may have 5 different classes every week for 9 weeks, and then 5 new ones the following 9 weeks. So they participate in a lot of activities and get a lot of exposure so that we can hopefully find what it is that they love to do the most.
Well, that is awesome, and I want to thank you for joining me today. That's a lot of information.
Yes.
I can't imagine why you would not want to go ahead and put your child in ESP for 1 day a week or half a day, maybe before school or either after school, and definitely look at the fall breaks and winter breaks. So, Candy, it was delightful to have you. If you want to know more information about ESP, you can go to our City Schools website. It's cityschools.net, and there'll be a drop-down talking about ESP, or you could call them at 615-893-2313, or the last way you could get in touch with them is you can go to the City Schools website and hit an icon saying Ask MCS, and we'll get the questions to Candy or whoever can answer them best, or just stop by your school and talk to your ESP site director. So thanks for joining us today, and we hope you have a great evening.